Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Horror to Me. I'm your host, Brooke, and today I'm going to be reviewing the original Hellraiser. So, sorry it took me so long to get on here. I was emailing someone. But anyway, um, my rating for the original Hellraiser, it was originally a 4.5, but I recently watched it on Tubi and I decided to up it because it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad of a movie. It really wasn't that bad. So I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. So today we're going all the way back to 1987 to talk about Hellraiser. And I'm already preparing myself because I didn't like the slime, I didn't like the goo, I didn't like the wet flesh. That's why I really originally did not like this movie. I cannot watch this movie when I eat because I have a weak stomach. But anyway, I know some of you are going to be like, really, Brooke? Really? And I absolutely know somebody's going to say that's the whole point is body horror. I know. I know. That's why I still was grossed out by it. It. But anyway, but that doesn't mean I have to look at it. So I decided not to look at that gross part. Definitely didn't look at that gross part. And here's the weird thing. I respect the way the movie I respect this movie way more than I actually enjoyed watching it. I love the concept, the Cenobites, the pinhead is iconic, of course. The puzzle box is one of the coolest objects in horror history, obviously. And the mythology is fascinating. But the actual experience of watching this movie, sometimes I'm just sitting there like, can someone please get a mop? Because it was disgusting. It was disgusting. The goo coming up from the ground, I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take it, you guys. I just couldn't. So let's get into Hellraiser from 1987. Before we get started into my review, there will be hell. I mean, there will be hell. I was going to say there will be hell to pay. No, I'm just joking. But there will be spoilers ahead. So, yeah. If you haven't watched it yet, it came out in 1987, so I would kind of be concerned that you haven't watched it yet. But anyway, with that being said, I want to show you all the trailer for Hellraiser 1987. So here it is.
I have seen the future of horror. His name is Clive Barker. Hellraiser. Beyond any terror you have imagined. A nightmare.
No.
Unlike anything you have witnessed, is born. Because within these walls, the unholy is unleashed. Hellraiser, a film by Clive Barker.
We'll tear your soul apart.
So, the movie begins with Frank Cotton, and right away, Frank is looking for something beyond ordinary pleasure. Normal life isn't enough for this man. He wants something extreme, something nobody has ever experienced, and eventually he gets his hands on the mysterious puzzle box known as the Lamet configuration. Now, let's establish something immediately. If somebody sells me a mysterious golden box and tells me solving it will open a door to experiences beyond anything human beings can imagine, I will put it down. But Frank is a freak. He's a freak leak. But anyway, Frank, okay. So Frank solves the puzzle, and something happens to Frank. I don't know if he gets like embedded in the ground, or of course the Cenobites come, and they're creepy, they're calm, they're disturbing, and I love the Cenobites in this one as well. They're creepy, and the experience that Frank wanted was beyond anything imaginable. So congratulations to Frank for being a freak. He's like freaky freak Frank. I don't know. He's freaky. Because okay, so Frank's brother and his wife was getting married, and Frank slept with his brother's wife. So when they go into the house, Frank is still there. He's embedded in the wood in the bottom or whatever. And so the wife goes upstairs and she sees Frank, and Frank tells her to bring different men so that he could be formed again. So she goes into like this box or whatever that Frank has, and it's it has a picture of Frank with like all these naked women with their tits out, and like Frank when they're wearing masks, and like Frank is a freak. I'm telling y'all, Frank is a freak leak. Something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with him. He's nasty. But anyway, with that being said, the body horror in this movie is what grosses me out. It wasn't as graphic as it was as graphic as the 2020 version. That's why I could tolerate the 2020 version. It wasn't as gross. And like I said, like the slime and the goo coming up from the thing, it makes me gag. It's just gross. But anyway, then we meet Larry and Frank's brother, Larry Cotton, Frank's brother, and his wife, Julia. So like I said, they move into the family's old house, and Frank technically died there, and Julia has history with Frank. She had a messy affair with Frank, and now it's like she's devoted to Frank. And Larry's blood brings Frank back. When Larry cuts his hand while moving furniture, his blood spills onto the floor, and apparently Frank's remains are like comes up, like his remains comes up and he's formed, and that's where all the goo and stuff is. I didn't watch that part because I told you I was grossed out that. I didn't watch that part. So the blood starts bringing Frank back, and the resurrection scene, that's where it all happens and stuff. And so Frank comes back, sort of. It's like his flesh is like, it's like his body is like skinless and a half-formed creature, like hiding inside the house. And Julia discovers him, and that's where she's still in love with him. Like she's obsessed with him, with Frank. I guess he gave her that bomb D, so now she's in love. But anyway, so Julia starts bringing home men and kills them. She lures them upstairs into the room, and then they're like, well, why isn't there a bed in here? And she takes a hammer and she kills them, and then Frank does whatever he does to the bodies, and it starts forming his body back. And so Frank asks Julia to... Frank stabs his brother Larry, and gets his body, his full face and body. And so Larry's daughter comes home and realizes that that's not her dad, it's Frank. And Christy is the final girl in the movie. Christy is Larry's daughter, Frank's niece. And it's just all messy. This movie's just all messy. That's what I'm just saying. And Pinhead, we have to talk about Pinhead, because technically the character wasn't originally created the way later movies would make him the face of the franchise, but he has pale skin, he has black leather, he has a calm voice, and he has pins perfectly placed all over his face. So that's why he's called Pinhead, obviously. But anyway, so Frank has escaped them, but what happens is Frank becomes creepy towards Christy and the whole situation. She basically is the final girl. Julia dies because Frank kills her. Julia dies. Christy kills Frank, and the Cenobites come and get Frank, basically. So that's the whole movie summed up in one. But yeah, at first I gave it a 5.5 out of 10, but this movie wasn't bad. It's actually a decent movie, so I ended up giving it a 7.5 out of 10, so I bumped it up to a 7.5 out of 10. It's not bad. I do recommend it. It is free on Tubi with ads, so you'll have to watch it with ads, but that's not bad. But anyway, Pinhead is iconic, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Did you like I was about to say, did you have like Pinhead, but did you like Hellraiser? What was your thoughts about the movie? I know Hellraiser has a lot of fans, a whole lot of fans, and usually I get into arguments with them because I tell them that I don't really like this movie that much. It's not bad, but usually I get into arguments with Hellraiser fans, not because I hate the movie, but because this movie is not like rated number one like they say. Like, this is not the best horror movie, you know? But anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. And please like this video, subscribe to Talk Horror to Me, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss another horror movie review. And thank you so much for watching Talk Horror to Me. See you next time for the next review. Bye.